I'd like to welcome parents, friends, family, and all of you here today, as well as the administration here on stage. Principal Peter Lucia, Dean of Students Guy Prescott, Superintendent Carol Jacobs, Dr. Rodriguez, Mr. Wiggin, Mr. Dempsey, school committee members, Ms. Blake, Mr. Bjork, Ms. Donahue, Mr. Hoover, and Ms. Linares, as well as Selectman Smith. It has been 12 years since our grade left kindergarten for the exciting and challenging road in our life through elementary, middle, and high school. It was a road that many of us took together from the start, with many great new members being added to the family along the way. Together, we have now successfully completed that road, bringing us to where we are seated today. Welcome to the graduation of the Georgetown High School class of 2011. And now I would like to introduce the Superintendent of Schools, Mrs. Carol Jacobs.
Thank you, Dan, and good morning, everyone. Chairman Blythe, members of the Georgetown School Committee, colleagues, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2011. It is my pleasure to be given the privilege of welcoming you to the commencement exercises for the class of 2011, a day that you have all been anxiously awaiting, and it is finally here. As a mother, I do know how proud your parents are of you today as you stand at the crossroads of this new adventure, leaving behind the security of your life as you've known it for the past 18 or so years, stepping into new territory that you can only imagine and have not yet experienced. As I was scanning through the internet recently, kind of looking for quotes and inspirational sayings, I was struck by one that I noticed. It said, I quote, "The speech I got to give after the boring superintendent." So my goal this morning, in the few minutes I have with you, is not to live up to that reputation. So I just want to share a few things for you to think about. First, I urge you to do something important with your life. There will be people who have opinions of what that should look like for you, but you are the master of your own destiny. Through exploration and life experiences, you will ultimately determine what those important things will be for you and the others who touch your life. Georgetown and your families have given you a great start, but the rest is now up to you. Les Bro reminds us the only limits to the possibilities in your life tomorrow are the buts you use today. I hope that you will live your best life. I'm an Oprah fan, and that's an Oprah saying. So Oprah tells us to live our best life. Find your sense of purpose. Use your imagination and think, and seize each day creating opportunities to do and accomplish those important things, whatever you determine them to be. Remember always to be true to yourself, make a difference, aim high, and think big. Anonymous once said that success is 10% ability and 90% hard work and determination. We know that each of you has the ability to do great things. You've already demonstrated that through your time in Georgetown, in your classes, on the athletic fields, within your community, and through your friendships. But we all know that your education does not stop here. There are many doors yet to open, adventures yet to experience, challenges to conquer, and dreams to realize. When I was your age, a little while ago, I grew up being told that I was only limited by my attitude. And if I could imagine and believe it, I could achieve it. This advice certainly proved true for me, and now I hope the same will be true for each and every one of you. I've learned in my life that effort and commitment matter greatly in the achievement of success. You may not be the smartest person in the room, or the one with the most experience, or the biggest background, but no worries. If you make a conscious commitment to personal excellence, and as Margaret Thatcher says, disciplining yourself to do what you know is right and important, although difficult, is the high road of pride, self-esteem, and personal satisfaction. So I challenge you to give your best effort always. Be unique. Continue to stand out like you have been in your education here. Let people know who you are and what you can do, and inspire others to be the best they can be through your example. Never give up, because the only person person that can stop you is you. Have fun. It sounds so cliche, so basic, and maybe a little corny, or lame, as my sons would say. But I offer to you that life is meant to be lived with enthusiasm and passion, not just something that happens to us every day. There are challenges, trials, and tribulations, but you already know that. You've already started to experience that as you've grown. But remember that happiness is a state of mind, a conscious choice, and it is within your grasp and your control. I urge you to believe that you have what it takes to turn challenges into opportunities with something as simple as a smile, a gentle touch, a kind word, or a deed. But assuming positive intentions is always important, controlling your own attitude, and even as your definition of happiness changes, making the most out of every situation. Happiness is infectious, so surround yourself with people who make you a better person, and in this case, feel free to infect others. So class of 2011, I'm so pleased to join this wonderful assembly of people who are so proud of you, not only for what you're accomplishing today, but for all the personal successes that you've achieved getting to this place and time. Each year I conclude my comments with this final thought because it's fitting for this particular day. It usually resonates most with the parents, but I hope it does hold some meaning for you as well. Jonas Salk reminds us that parents give their children roots and wings. Roots to know where home is, wings to fly away and exercise what has been taught to them. As parents and teachers, we feel confident that we have given you a solid foundation, firm roots upon which to build your future. And now, it is your turn to spread your wings and find your way in this world, knowing that we have faith in you, and that you can always count on and come back to your roots. So without further ado, I welcome you to this important day of celebration, and leave you with the words of Walt Disney, inspired, of course, by this year's trip to Disney. Think, believe, dream, and dare, and remember, nothing is impossible. Good luck in all you do, and thank you very much.
Good morning. It is my pleasure now to congratulate and introduce the salutatorians, Sarah Erlinson and Matthew Nutter.
Good morning. Wow, what a journey it's been. Seriously. I am honored to have the privilege of delivering this speech today. I would first like to congratulate the class of 2011 and also thank the administration, Superintendent Jacobs, Mr. Lucia, the faculty and staff, and friends and family for all their support and hard work, without which none of this would be possible today, and I would not be up here speaking. Over the past 12 years, there have been so many memorable moments that it would be impossible to mention them all in this short time. Like many of these experiences, today is important in that it serves as an event that brings everyone in our community together, friends and family alike, and allows us to reflect on all of our dedication and determination that has brought us to this stepping stone in our lives. While this ceremony is unique, it is not the first time we have been able to demonstrate our achievements within our community. I can remember back in kindergarten when our class was performing an end-of-the-year play for our friends and family members. My role in this play was to be broccoli, and like everyone else in the play, I was so excited to hold up my sign when my part was called and show my parents how hard I had worked and that I was basically falling out of my chair. It did not stop there, though. None of us can forget the transition from first to second grade, the seemingly terrifying experience of moving to the big and scary Pembroke. I'm sure I was not alone in thinking that we were going to be little second graders walking around the same hallway as the huge fifth graders, and that the schoolwork was also going to get much harder. Looking back now, the 4 years spent at Pembroke seemed to fly by. Shortly after the Owl Palace dissections and Famous American Day, two of my favorites, we concluded the year by having a ceremony similar to this, only without the caps and gowns. It was at our 5th grade graduation that we were making a final transition to an even larger school, where the next 7 years of our education would take place, all of it concluding with this moment today.
memories that will stay with us long after we graduate. We did some growing up and learning about ourselves in middle school, and we were excited to start the next 4 years of our lives. We were finally in high school. I know that I have grown so much as an individual during this time, and the teachers of Georgetown High School have contributed every step of the way. They have inspired us and taught us to question and search for explanation. Their emphasis on being open-minded and always learning is something that I will take with me and value all of my life. We have been encouraged to do our very best, and they have helped us achieve this and prepare for our future. I also want to say thank you to my parents, who have always supported me and encouraged me in everything I've done. And good luck to my brother and sister and everyone else that still has middle school and high school years left. They fly by, so make sure to enjoy and learn from every moment. And to my classmates, our lives will lead us in different directions as we stay on, and I wish everyone the best of luck. We have all had a unique journey during our high school years. I can look back and say that I'm a very different person from the freshman who just began that journey 4 years ago. We will always be growing and changing, so remember to work hard and accept new challenges into our life as we move forward. I am sad that chapter in our life is closing, but also equally excited about what the future will hold for each one of you. You should all be very proud of the accomplishment that we're here to celebrate today. I'll miss you. Congratulations and thank you.
I am honored to congratulate the class valedictorian, Melissa Miles.
Good morning, everyone. I've never been one for public speaking, so when I was asked to write this speech, I was at a complete loss of how to begin. How could I start a speech that was meant to summarize both my own schooling and the schooling of the 90 classmates amongst whom I sit? Classmates who have starred in musicals, excelled on the sports field, and encountered countless sleepless nights, all looking forward to one goal, this day. I racked my mind throughout many days, constantly distracted by the thought of writing something that could be both foreign to my class. As I could not find the correct words myself, I turned to a quote, part of a movie that Mr. Hastings calls the greatest movie of all time. The quote reads, "Have you ever noticed how grateful you are to see daylight again after coming through a long dark tunnel? Well, always try to see life around you as if you just come out of a tunnel." This advice spoke to me, as I think it can to the rest of my classmates. Our schooling has, in fact, been a type of tunnel for us. A bubble in which we have learned both about ourselves and the world, but never yet given the opportunity to fully experience it. The bright light was always waiting at the end, a distant glimmer that, until now, could never quite be reached. Looking back to middle school, life's tunnel was extremely narrow, creating a sheltered learning environment in which we could begin to grow in knowledge, kindness, and responsibility. It was here that learning was meant to be fun, dancing and mimicking ponies in order to memorize Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening in Miss Elkin's class, and following Mr. Patella through the auditorium as he pretended to be Blade. We were educated here not only in mathematics and writing, but in the importance of respect, teamwork, and friendship, creating both better learners and more tolerant young adults. Then high school was upon us. A rush of new freedom and work was thrown at us, and we realized we stuck constricted a tunnel we had lived in for the past 3 years. Before, we had complained if we could not finish our homework in an hour. Now, we were faced with a Civil War web project that meant most of us getting about 1 hour of sleep. We studied for finals, crammed for potential grammar quizzes from Dr. Venuti, and wrote countless essays. But high school did have many benefits. Our freedom had expanded immensely, and I think it's safe to say we all enjoyed this. Of course, this freedom is just a small taste of the lives for which we now stand waiting at the door. We are leaving the small town of Georgetown behind. We stand gazing at a future, blazing in the brightness of our own potential and newfound independence. We are free to do as we please next year, whether it's studying at a college in New York, California, or even Ireland, getting a job, or creating another unique plan. Until now, each weekday, save 3 brief months of summer, we have repeated the same routine in the same place with the same classmates. We have rushed into the same parking lot, for most of us a bit later each day, and then later rushed out of it. Although this routine is now a thing of the past, the lessons we learned between those two rushes, in and out of the parking lot, remain with us forever. We have been shaped into young adults, and we are here today to celebrate the accomplishment. Today, we close the door in high school, where I spent the last year as top of the food chain, greatly sheltered from the real world. As we did on the first days of middle school, we will enter a world again, where we are just the little guys. It is our own responsibility to build ourselves once again, and it is here in Georgetown where we have all been given the skills to do so. Of course, there are many people to thank for this great accomplishment. Teachers, faculty, and staff, whether they be from the school behind me or the school just down the pathway, all helped create the educated, responsible adults that now wait to receive their diplomas. It is these teachers who taught us to share in the sandbox, to tolerate others, and to continue learning long after we leave Georgetown. Personally, I'd like to thank my parents. My mom and dad have done all that they could for me, and I know they stand behind me in all that I do. My mom has always told me that I'm capable of doing anything in life, and when she says it, I almost believe it myself. I'd also like to thank my other family members and friends who have offered me their own support and encouragement no matter what life has thrown my way. Finally, I'd like to thank my classmates and to wish you all the best of luck and success in anything you do. Teachers have described us as a quiet class, but I know beneath the surface of each of us there lies a passionate drive for success that speaks numbers on its own. It is this that will bring each of us to our personal peak in life. Before ending my speech, I'd like to remind you once again of how it began. Although we may have left the tunnels and barriers of life as a high school student in Georgetown, we are still in the dark to many of the experiences that life has to offer. Approach life as you would run towards daylight at the end of that dark tunnel. Be eager to see, to learn, and most importantly, just to live. Good luck, and congratulations to the class of 2011.
I would now ask all of the band members and the senior class to please join the band, and I'd like to introduce and welcome our band, led by Mr. Corey Seeking. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to Georgetown High School in the commencement exercises of the class of 2011. Before we honor our seniors today, I would like to give thanks to all of the people that made this day ceremony possible. Our maintenance and custodial staff for preparing the grounds for this day is a very ambitious effort. They have been working diligently all week and have been here since 6 a.m. this morning setting things up. Mr. Chuck Davis for all of his efforts in providing our sound for today. The musicians in the chorus led by Mrs. Laura LaFlamme and Mr. Corey Seepy. And can we just have a round of applause for them? They are absolutely fantastic. Mrs. Dodge and the yearbook committee for the wonderful, colorful yearbook. Mr. Umbro, Ms. Harkins, and Mrs. Lane for the wonderful guidance department we have here. Mrs. Grieve and Ms. Barham for the masterful job they have done advising this year's graduates. The school committee and central office staff led by Superintendent Jacobs for their guidance and support. Mr. Prescott for his organizational work and assistance. To my office staff, Ms. Katie Legier, and a special thanks to Mrs. Patty Harris, who is really the commander of the day. She is responsible for ordering all the caps and gowns, the diplomas, the programs, the awards. The list goes on and on and on, and we couldn't do it without her. Thank you so much. The entire faculty of the Georgetown Public Schools, present and retired, who have dedicated their time and energies with today's celebration at their end. And a special thanks to Mother Nature today, as soon as the wind stops. So I've been ordering a day like this for 8 years, and Mother Nature finally came through. I was actually able to sleep last night because there was no threat of rain for the very first time. At this time, I would especially like to recognize a retiring faculty member, Mrs. Denise Medallia, who has faithfully dedicated 8 years of service in instructional excellence to the children of Georgetown. It is with great pride that I stand before you today and briefly highlight some of the many accomplishments of this year's senior class. They have represented their families, school, and community well and have carried on many of the fine traditions that make Georgetown High School so special. Collectively, they represent diverse interests and have an impressive list of accomplishments. 70% of seniors participated in athletics. That's an all-time high. They have excelled on the athletic field and earned a number of state tournament bids, as well as 2 league championships. 44% of the class participated in music. We have won countless group and individual music awards in various competitions. 31% of the class belongs to the National Honor Society. There are 3 National Merit Commended students. 10% of the class has earned a Certificate of Mastery, thus making them eligible for a tuition-free education at a state college or university in Massachusetts. 30% of the class are eligible to receive John and Abigail Adams scholarships. 93% of the class will be continuing their education at many diverse and distinguished institutions. Please feel free to browse the list posted outside of our guidance office. It's very, very impressive. Individuals in this class have been awarded scholarships worth more than $71,150. This is by far the highest total in my 8 years as principal of Georgetown High School by $20,000. Please share with me congratulating the class of 2011. These great accomplishments did not come easy. They are a culmination of a journey down a long road full of hard work and dedication that began for most at the Pearly School. As Aristotle said, the roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. But it's not quite time for most of you to enjoy that fruit yet, because at the end of the road that you just traveled has brought you to the beginning of a new one. So what now? Hard work alone will not get you where you're going. In order for you to maximize your potential, you're going to have to move away from your comfort zone and take risks. I want to talk to you today about risk-taking. Alan Alda, the great actor, writer, and producer, said, "You have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your institution. You can't get there by bus, only by hard work and risk, and by not quite knowing what you're doing." I found a great quote from Ruth Westheimer, a professor and media psychologist, that really exemplifies this. She talked about her favorite animal. Her favorite animal is a turtle. The reason is that in order for a turtle to move, it has to stick its neck out. There are going to be times in your life when you're going to have to stick your neck out. There will be challenges, and instead of hiding in a shell, you have to go out and meet them. So go out there and take risks and find yourself. I can leave you with the best advice that comes from Adlai Stevenson, who said, "When you leave here, don't forget why you came." I congratulate you and wish you good luck. At this time, I would like to call the school committee chairperson, Ann Blythe, to begin our scholarship presentation.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to be a part of this ceremony with all of you. Baker Adams' contribution to the town of Georgetown began at the turn of the 20th century, as exemplified by his lifelong commitment as a public servant and member of many civic organizations. Upon his death in 1997, Mr. Adams continued his legacy into the new millennium by establishing the Baker Adams Scholarship Fund, entrusting the Georgetown School Committee with the task of awarding scholarships to Georgetown residents who meet the criteria of his trust. Since 2001, the Baker Adams Scholarship Fund has had over 350 applicants and awarded 154 scholarships totaling nearly $300,000. Each year, scholarship recipients are selected based on their academic performance, financial need, and community involvement. In the spirit of Baker Adams, I implore each of you to thoughtfully consider how you can contribute to your own community. The words of Marian Wright Edelman say this well: "Service is the rent we pay for being. It is the very purpose of life and not something you do in your spare time." On behalf of the Georgetown School Committee, I am pleased to announce the Baker Adams 2010-2011 scholarship recipients. The $1,000 scholarships are awarded to Michelle Riley, Rachel Sherman, the $2,000 scholarships are awarded to Madeline Duncan, Samantha Francisconi, Max Maidano, and Melanie Fine.
The $3,000 scholarships are awarded to Melissa Miles and Matthew Nutter. The school committee established the Baker Adams Citizen Scholar Award for the student who has embodied the community and academic spirit of Mr. Adams himself. This award is for $5,000. The recipient of the 6th annual Baker Adams Citizen Scholar Award is Daniel Shores. In the spirit of Baker Adams, it is only fitting that we now present an honorary high school diploma to David Brocklebank. Many of you have sure read the article about him this week. During World War II, he left school as his parents worked on the Liberty ships in the Boston area, and he was shuttled between several different sets of relatives. As time went on, he attempted to go back to school several times, but eventually he ended up not attending school so he could support his family financially. As life went on, he served in the Navy and then led a successful career in engineering, attaining several patents. Through his life, he put his family and country before himself, and this is the type of person that should serve as a role model for all of us. We have provided this honorary diploma as a small token of our appreciation and respect for him. Unfortunately, he's not here to accept it, but we wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to welcome Mrs. Barbie Linares, school committee person and former president of the PTA, to present the PTA scholarships.
The PTA would like to award scholarships to 4 seniors who exemplify strong leadership skills and a strong involvement in community. Matthew Nutter, Daniel Shores, Amanda Conti, and Megan O'Malley.
For our visitors today that were not able to make the senior award ceremony, we've given out many scholarships and awards at that program. We have a few left that we give out today, so that 71,000 is all divided up to these small amount of people that are coming up here today. The Ruth E. Brown Memorial Scholarship is given for outstanding progress as shown in scholarship, character, personality, and application. This year's recipient is Sarah Erlandson. The Patricia Ann Cudmore Scholarship, awarded in memory of Patricia Ann Cudmore, who was a longtime Georgetown resident and devoted many hours to the Georgetown schools on behalf of her children. Patricia and her husband educated 4 children in the Georgetown school system and did so while battling cancer until her untimely death at the age of 42. Today, 4 of Patricia's grandchildren attend Georgetown Middle High School, and the oldest, Will Ingraham, is a graduate of the class of 2011. Congratulations, Will. The recipient of this scholarship will have a strong commitment and devotion to their family, the ability to accomplish their academic goals through adversity, and realize that academic standing is not necessarily the measurement of true success. The recipient should be known for being kind and respectful of others. This year's recipient is Jenna McMahon.
Yeah, Jenna!
The Merrimack Valley Hospital Medical Staff Scholarship will be awarded to a graduating senior who plans to further his or her education in the medical field. This year's recipient is Max Mangano. The James H. Boynton Scholarship, awarded to a graduating senior of Georgetown High School who best exemplifies the personal value system demonstrated by Mr. Boynton himself over the 25 years he led this school, its students and its faculty. Honest, hard work, well-rounded and broad interests in academics, sports, and community involvement, and most of all, a wonderful sense of humor and personal warmth. This year's recipient is Hannah Carlson. The Helen L. Davis Memorial Fund, awarded to a student who has demonstrated outstanding progress as shown in scholarship, character, and personality. We have two recipients this year, Stephanie Carboni and Max Mangano. The Richard Rizzo Memorial Scholarship, given by the Rizzo family in memory of Mr. Richard Rizzo, who was an algebra and physics teacher at Georgetown High School. Mr. Rizzo was a talented, highly respected teacher who was also a kind and devoted mentor to his students. This scholarship will be awarded to a graduating senior who is planning to further his or her education in the field of engineering, mathematics, or science. This candidate should have a significant history of volunteerism in such areas as community service and school activities aimed at helping others. This year's recipient is Michael Rossi. Georgetown Savings Bank Scholarship. This scholarship is awarded to a graduating senior who is planning to further his or her education, specifically in the field of finance, banking, or accounting. The student should also demonstrate involvement within the community, be it through sports, volunteering, music, or other similar activities. This year's recipient is Melanie Pryor. Michael J. Donahoe Memorial Scholarship. The Michael J. Donahoe Memorial Scholarship is given in memory of Mike Donahoe, former facilities manager of the Georgetown Public Schools, soccer commissioner of the Georgetown Athletic Association, and longtime friend of many Georgetown residents. This scholarship will be awarded to a Georgetown resident who has demonstrated good citizenship, involvement in school and community, and will be attending a four-year college or university. The following criteria will be considered: demonstration of school and community involvement, character traits of citizenship, GPA, and the content of the essay. There are two recipients this year. They are Madeline Duncan and Daniel Shores. At this time, I would call up Chairperson Ann Blythe and Superintendent Jacobs and Mr. Prescott to call the roll of the class of 2011. Megan Elizabeth Harney. Melanie Ann Pryor. Nicole Marie DeMeo. Olivia Grace Putnam. Victoria Ann Woods. Cassandra Lee Barber. Stephanie Catherine Carboni. Hannah Kelly Carlson. Brian Patrick Cronin. Daniel Thomas Shores. Matthew Ryan Nutter. Eric Kerr Augustine. Matthew Raymond Butera. Joseph Nolan Campbell. Nicholas Mark Carboni. Genesis Carmona. Bianca Lee Carosi. Amanda Louise Conti. Casey Lynn Curtin. Brianna Lee Diamato. Jessica Lynn Denoncourt. Leah Bridget DeVoe. Gina Marie Diazadoro. F. Carmona.
Richard Alexander Charon. Derek Robert DiPasquale. Ryan Patrick Flynn. Eric Michael Gesualdi. David Edward Gibb. Madeline Isabel Duncan. Alicia Elizabeth Duchesne. Sarah Cecilia Erlinson. Erin Marie Flaherty. Samantha Lynn Francisconi. Carol Lee Giannopoulos. Taylor Marie Gisti. Joshua James Hall. Jameson Reed Hamelin. Jacob Seth Horvitz. William Richard Ingraham. Adam Lewis Johnson. Sean William Cavanaugh. Jared Thomas Lathrop. Amanda Susan Grenier. Lauren Elizabeth Hanlon. Janelle Marie Kinney. Sophia Louise Lacotilia. Alexa Catherine Lonegro. Jenna Patricia McMahon. Samantha Casey McQuillan. Brandy Marie Melvin. Max Joseph Mangano. William Robert Miller. Ryan James Moriarty. Matthew Carl Noloff. Ryan Patrick O'Rourke. Richard Jeffrey Michael Paganelli. Joshua Valerie Peabody. Yana Jean Mueller. Paige O'Hare Murphy. Melissa Rose Miles. Margaret Leah Nelson. Victoria Elizabeth Newberry. Megan Elizabeth O'Malley. Casey Elizabeth Pacala. Allison Rosemary Pelletier. Ryan Thomas Petrie Jr. Christopher Robert Petro. Jacob Donald Picard. Jared James Pisa. Luke Christopher Prescott. Ryan James Quinn. Kristen Lee Pingree. Michelle Elaine Riley. Danielle Sky Russo. Rachel Elizabeth Sherman. Jessica Rosebrook Shores. Nicole Alexandra Susi. Shauna Ray Stembler. Jacqueline Marie Sylvia. Gabriel Aman Ruggiero. Michael Joseph Rossi. Michael David Rudd. Michael Joseph Watson. Kara June Waugh. Leanne Waybright. Kirsten Marie Wilcox.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2011. I would now ask all the members of the chorale to please come to the stage. Staging.
True.
It's not all fame and glory being the class president, you know. One of the last things I have to do is give the farewell speech. So I would welcome Melanie Pryor, the president of the class of 2011, to come up and give the farewell speech.
Good morning, faculty, family, and friends of the Georgetown High School class of 2011. This day has finally come, huh? It's unbelievable to think that we have spent years wishing to be out here in our caps and gowns, ready to venture into the real world. But now that this day has finally come, all we can think about is everything we've gone through and what growing up in Georgetown has meant to us. Georgetown is unique in that almost everyone here graduating today has gone through some combination of Pearlie as a blue ribbon school, Pembroke, Georgetown Middle School, and finally Georgetown High School, together. And that is what makes graduating and preparing to leave this place so bittersweet. We have been able to watch our teammates, siblings, and friends take that final run down the senior hallway and final walk across this very stage. Now it is our turn. Our turn to get out there and make a mark on the world, conducting ourselves as the respectable and talented people Georgetown has groomed us to become. During our last varsity softball game the other day, one of my underclassmen teammates made a point to say to me, "Well, I guess things just won't be the same next year without you seniors." And that got me thinking. That's just it. It can never be the same. With each passing day, we are growing and changing, moving closer to our dreams or to setbacks that will ultimately test our strength and willingness to bounce back. Even after watching several classes of seniors graduate while we stayed in school, I think it is safe to say that we never thought the day would come when the class of 2011 would be graduating from GHS. With a successful pep rally, outstanding musical, committed athletes across all seasons, magical trip to Disney World with the band and chorus, and a superb senior celebration, it has truly been an excellent year. As it winds down to these final moments together, I want all of us here today to reflect upon our high school years fondly and with pride. Time will change us all in different ways, but these past 4 years have bonded us together with irreplaceable memories, experiences, and friendships. I ask that you remember each other, even those you may not be as close to, for we have all been a part of shaping each other's lives in some way or another. Use these relationships not to limit your future, but to influence it for the better as you carve your own path in the world. Standing here in front of you all today, I am both overjoyed and scared out of my mind. So much is ending, yet so much is beginning, and I know all of us have bright futures ahead. Thank you, for it has been a pleasure being your president, and good luck to all of you in the class of 2011. We did it.
Oh, is anyone missing?